college football bowl games coming up just right around the corner. That means the college regular season has come to a close. Yesterday, UTEP and New Mexico State closed out its season for the very first time since 1960, facing off with one another.
Yeah, and then this year's game falling on the same weekend of college football's famous rivalry week. And this year's game between UTEP and New Mexico State was one of more of the thrilling ones. So just in case you missed it, here's a recap of last night's game between the Miners and Aggies.
It was the 101st Battle of I-10 on the gridiron. New Mexico State, winners of last year's game, welcoming in UTEP to Aggie Memorial Stadium. UTEP looking to take back the Silver Spade Trophy and Mayor's Cup to El Paso. New Mexico State's opening drive of the game ending in disaster. Maurice Westmoreland landing a huge hit on quarterback Parker Awad. Ball fumbled, and it's Bryden Thompson with the scoop and score touchdown. Miners up 7-0 less than 5 minutes into the game. NMSU's very next drive ending with 3 points, but they weren't an easy 3 points. Senior kicker Abraham Montaño nailing a 59-yard field goal, setting a new program record and putting NMSU on the board. UTEP still up 7-3 though. Later in the first quarter, NMSU getting its first touchdown of the game. Awad going over the top to running back Seth McGowan. McGowan's 6th touchdown of the season gave NMSU the lead. Aggies up 10-7. NMSU's offense continuing to pour it on UTEP to start the second. Awad connecting with TJ Pride. Aggies scoring 24 unanswered points. Aggies up 24-7. NMSU with its largest lead of the game with 12:36 to go in the first half. UTEP scored on the ensuing drive. Javon Jackson with a 2-yard rushing touchdown. Miners going into the half down 24-14, and during halftime, UTEP having an honest conversation with themselves about its performance.
We were pretty direct at halftime. I wasn't pleased in the second quarter of how we played. I thought we gave them way too many opportunities.
We went in that half and we talked as an offense. The coaches talked. The coaches came and talked to us, and the dialogue was good.
Yeah, I could say shout out to Trey Goodman. Our halftime speech, he was like, "We got the game right here, bro. Just close your fist and just take on to it."
UTEP coming out of halftime with its best stuff after making it a 24-21 game. UTEP taking the lead back after Skylar Locklear dropped an absolute dime to Kenny Odom. Miners up 28-24. NMSU with the chance to make it a 1-point game on the ensuing drive, but Carson Zilmer filling in for a banged-up Montaño, missing a 33-yard field goal. That was one of 3 field goals NMSU's special teams unit had missed in the contest. The start of the fourth quarter was rough for NMSU. On 3rd and 6, Awad was sacked by freshman defensive lineman Kyron Duhan. That was one of 8 sacks UTEP's defense had in the game. That sack forcing NMSU to punt to one of UTEP's most skilled players, Cam Thomas, who knew he needed to step up for his team in that moment.
I had started off the game really flat, like I had 3 drops. I just told myself after halftime, I gotta be the spark. I gotta be the playmaker of the team because the team need me. I can't let the team down. So I made a promise to myself I wouldn't let myself down.
On the punt, Thomas going 93 yards for a touchdown. Thomas tying a school record. UTEP extending its lead to 35-24 in the fourth quarter. NMSU got the ball back but gave it up just as quick. First play of the ensuing drive, P.J. Johnson III fumbles on the sweep, and it's Bryden Thompson with his second scoop and score touchdown of the game. Thompson becoming the first Miner to score 2 defensive touchdowns in the same game in the modern era of football.
Right. When's the last time you scored a touchdown, man?
Man, the last time I scored a touchdown was probably like junior year of high school. I had another scoop and score like this. So. But yeah, it was just a blessing, man, to go out my senior year like this.
The sack, punt return touchdown, and scoop and score were 3 deflating plays that played a big part in New Mexico State's collapse.
That's 2 quick scores. I mean, that's 14 points right there, and that doesn't include the sack at the beginning of the game. That's a scoop and score. I mean, that's 21 points of complete mishaps in a game we lose by 7 points.
NMSU scored 1 more touchdown in the game, but UTEP went on to secure the 42-35 win over New Mexico State at Aggie Memorial Stadium in the final game of the 2024 season.
Losing the last game of the season hurts, and then losing to a rival, that's double hurt. And then in a game where you literally just handed it away. It's a crappy way to end the season. We got some really good guys in that locker room. Feel bad for them, but that's kind of been the tale of our story. We give ourselves chances, and we're just not mature enough to compete at a high enough level to finish things off. No reason we shouldn't have finished that game off.
With the win, UTEP taking back the Battle of I-10's traveling trophies, the Silver Spade Trophy, and Mayor's Cup back to El Paso.
This is a big game for El Paso. Like going out to eat, walking around, the fans and the people in the community always ask about this game. So it's a big game for El Paso. It's a big game for us. So I'm just glad we came out on top.
You know, it is a big program building win as we go into recruiting and we go into the off season. And again, we want to lay the standard that we want this spade and we want this spittoon to stay in our field house for as long as we're here.